Okay, the next section I'm going to be showing you is what is called the Godai. Sometimes it's called the Gogyo. Godai means the big five. The Gogyo means the five elements. Kind of the same thing. But basically there are 5 kata. We don't have too many katas in the Bujinkan, but there's a few. I always hear when people see them, they say, this would never work in reality. Why would you do this in actual combat? These 5 kata, which you'll do a lot of repetitiously, is to learn specific principles and points. They're not designed to work exactly as shown in combat. So when people say, oh, why would you do this? You're not really supposed to do that. It's just an exaggeration of movements so that you compact it in real combat. But I have to show a few key things before I show you the Godai. First of all, you need to know one specific stance. I need to explain that stance to you before the 5 Godai and a couple strikes, which we'll get into more detail later, but at least for this we have to do that now. So, the first of the Godai, the 5 Godai are Earth, Water, Fire, Wind, and Void. Chi no Kata, Suinokata, Ka no Kata, Fu no Kata, Ku no Kata. Earth, Water, Fire, Wind, Void. So, they all use the same basic principles except for Void, which is a little bit different. But you first must know the first stance. You'll see I have a nice black line here on the floor. Now, the idea behind this line is, I chose this room because there's square blocks on the floor. And when you're standing in your stance, one foot's going to be on this line here. One foot's going to go on this line. This is your line of attack, as if your enemy was coming in at you from the front, right here. This is how you're going to move away. So as you're doing the technique, this foot's going to move along this line, and this foot's going to move off of this line. I'll get into a little bit more detail of that in a second. The first stance is Ichimonji no Kamae, which means 1 Ichi. And in Japanese, the character for 1 is just a straight line. So basically it looks like this. This is Ichimonji no Kamae. It's one of our most basic forms, or stances, in ninjutsu. Basically what you're doing is you're pointing this hand at the enemy's heart. This hand is going to cover your throat as an extra barrier of protection in case he hits you. Elbow down, never cocked out like this. Back straight, never butt out. A lot of people will do this, always straight and centered. Twist your hips, twist your shoulders. Your toes point directly at your enemy. This foot is going to be pointed towards your escape. Never lock your knees, never lock any of your joints, because it makes them easier to break. And basically, I guess that's some of the most important parts. Never kank your knees like this, so you have that undue strain on your knee joints. Everything's nice and aligned. For now, 70% of your weight is on your back foot, the rest is on the front. Eventually it should be 100 and 0, so it's more of an illusion. So if someone tries to sweep you, it does not affect you. We will get into that later. So, for the first stance only, for your first kata, it's Ichimonji no Kamae. The kata itself, I guess I'll just show it to you first. You're going to do this. You're going to visualize a punch coming in. That's it. So basically what it is, I'm using this tape as a guide. You can get rid of the tape once you've gotten familiar with it. From your Ichimonji stance, the punch is coming in. You're going to step along this line. So this foot should move first, out. You're going to drag this foot away from him, off of the line of attack. And that way, if it were a sword and it buried itself into the ground, nothing's in the way. So you evade, step and slide. At the same time you're doing that, your upper body's going to do this. So as I step, my back foot, I'm getting ready. I'm going to turn this hand, my lead hand down like a scoop. And And I'm going to make a big circle with it. And as I step out with my other foot, it's going to go into a fist and punch the inside of his forearm from his strike. And then recenter. It's not here only. Whole body. Turn into the scoop and back again. Use your whole body, taijutsu, the whole body. Not karate. Arms only, hands only. This is ninjutsu. Using whole body dynamics. Okay, so trying to remember all those details. It won't be easy. It's going to take time. You'll have to do this a lot. Once you get used to it, it'll get better. I see a lot of people make mistakes on this right away. Don't be discouraged by it. It will take some time. It helps to watch videos. Lots of videos of all the masters. So I step here, my line, punch comes in. Step out, scoop, block. The next part is, now I'm going to shift forward. My weight's all here, because now I'm attacking, I'm reciprocating from his attack. I'll move back right here. So after I blocked him, I'm going to shift forward. This hand is now going to go like this. The reason I'm doing that is this becomes like the bow of a ship. If he charges me, it hits his chest, slides him out, blocks him away. So block, shift forward, this arm goes straight back. And I'm going to put these three fingers together, like this, right there. Now there's going to be a pendulum motion, like a clock. When I step forward now, this arm is not going to bend. I'm going to step forward and strike right under his chin. Or anywhere really, but the chin is the first target you learn. This hand goes here at the same time. Not like this, because it's not karate, it's right here, flat on your hip. And another reason for that is it generates torque in your torso. So it'll be like that. So you're getting your whole body behind it. Taijutsu again. And you strike under the chin. So, block, shift, strike. Make sure your feet are grounded and solid. None of this. No sliding. A lot of people, common mistakes will be to do this, and this foot slides around behind. Don't do that. Then you do the other side. Shift, block, bow the ship, lean forward, hands back, step forward and strike right here. And normally we'll do that, well, for a 3-hour class, we'll probably do that 100 times for all 5. So 10 times each side for the first of the 5 Godai. And then for a 2-hour class, you might do 50, I guess half that. So you practice that. We'll add the other 4. Usually that's done at the beginning of every class. Most places you go. It'll help develop your form. It'll help to develop your stances, your strikes, your movement, your taijutsu in general will all grow out of this. Lots of mistakes that I commonly see I'll go over because of the benefit of not having a teacher. Don't kink your knees, don't lock your joints. Majority here, don't lean back or forward, keep it straight. Don't do this, keep it straight. Point it towards his heart, cover your throat, elbow down, head up. Don't do this. Don't do that. Fluidity too. Next step, out, 45-degree angles. That's what this is. This shows the direction of travel for your foot. 45-degree angles. So you step, drag off of the line of attack, shift down, block, turn in. Look at this back foot here. Like a sprinter, as a runner. After I block, I'm gonna move in. And I set up my strike arm, and I do strike. Lots of places you can strike. This is the big one. You can hit here, here, the temple, just about anywhere, but we'll get into the Kyusho, or the pressure points later, your striking targets. Just focus on the form, don't go too fast, slow down, relax, take your time, look at yourself. Videotape yourself, watch it back again. If there's other mistakes, if you're going to be doing grading through the videos, then we'll be correcting your gradings at those times, your mistakes. And a good place to start is just to do 5 of these a day per side, maybe 10 if you're ambitious. Look at some of the old Hasumi videos where the Shihan do the Godai, examine their movements, try and imitate their movements. Make sure you're not making any mistakes. If you think you are, go back over this video, listen to the warning areas that cause a lot of problems, and try to fix them. And this strike, from this stance, this is Ichimonji no Kamae. This strike you're doing is actually called Sanchin, the 3-finger strike. And we're putting it into Chi no Kata, which is earth movement of the big 5, or the Godai. After that, we'll add in the next 4, and together they will make up the first part of what you see in your manual. If you have it with you, refer to your manual. It will have the 5 Godai, the translations, and a small description there. You can go from there. After that, we'll go into Suinokata, which is water. And you'll notice these elements showing themselves a little bit in each of these movements, so you'll begin to understand them. And that's it for the first one.